Time.tv.
Previously on Mystical Ninja.
Someday I'll be part of
Well, hello once again and welcome back to Nathan Plays Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. My name is Nathan and this is Mystical Ninja for the Nintendo 64. In the previous episode, we had quite an adventure. We journeyed to the top of Mount Fear after upgrading our weapons way back at the beginning of the game, and then after that we climbed a waterfall, became a mermaid, and found a submarine under the frozen Japan Sea. At that point, as you recall, I had decided the video was getting a little bit long, and it looked like that sub was going to be a whole dungeon. It was going to be a whole big thing. And so I left it, came back to town, and that's where we're starting off today. So from town, it was an easy jaunt back into the sea, underwater, through the ice field, and back into the submarine. All in all, it was really just a minute or two to get back here, and once you know the way, it was actually not that difficult, so that was kind of nice. So we did see this room last time around. There was sort of a table here with some sushi on it, as well as a Mr. Elephant in clear view, but I was not able to make the jumps, as you recall. This time, no big deal. I got a good feeling about this one. So now I have access, once again, to the map, showing the inside of the castle. I can press start and switch to the map with the Z button. So why don't we do just that? Unfortunately, right now the map is worse than useless because it only has the room that I'm in, which has 2 doors leading out. Well, okay, worse than useless is maybe a little harsh. Sorry, map. So if you haven't guessed already, we're going with sort of a food theme in this castle. A lot of cooking surfaces, a lot of Japanese-style foods and snacks, as well as being underwater on a submarine. How those two things fit together, not sure. We have a new enemy type with super nasty gift boxes, as well as these ugly fellas that have quite a lot of range and take 2 hits, even with our upgraded weapons. Something to watch out for. As I often do in this game, I get my switch character and switch weapon buttons mixed up fairly frequently, and I will continue to do so throughout this dungeon, just so you know. So that door brings us back to the other side of this long cooking room, which I use the map just to confirm there. So I guess we had options. We could have gone through this one with the chain pipe, but we didn't. Either way, we get to this door. Camera is going to be a real issue, a real fun time in this dungeon. Here we have some floating, what look to be tofu blocks or something? I'm not sure. And I believe those white things are cooking utensils of some description. It's been a while since I was in Japan, didn't exactly familiarize myself with everything over there. So after taking a good look around the room, hop to one of the blocks. And started exploring what was up here. I did fall down a couple of times, just neatly snipped that out of the video so you think that I'm an awesome gamer all the time. Not really fond of making blind jumps, and I'm also not fond of waiting for the camera to swing around and then hit the wall, so that's what I'm talking about. There's quite a bit of that. Well, that door's locked, so that leaves the other one as our only option. Looks like there's possibly a lower route that I can take with some freezable platforms there, but I decided to risk it and attempt the star blocks, the chain pipe. Some nifty jump and grabs there, and I got across. I'm actually a little bit impressed with myself right there. First try. Really, I mean really the first try. I know people say that, but... So anyway, that brings us to this sushi plate room, where we have a bunch of plates kind of rotating in succession into and out of the wall there. And occasionally the foodstuffs on that plate will get up and run around and look sort of adorably angry, but also be in the way, which we don't like. At this point, I had just completely forgotten what my ranged options were, and I'm a little bit embarrassed that I don't really handle this in an optimal way. And like I said, I'm just sort of switching through characters. The bombs can work, sure, but there are lots of throwables. Nathan, why didn't you think of those? Why are you just falling off? Expert level, Major League Gaming here. Anyway, eventually I did get across to the other side where there's a key waiting for me, and I remembered the chain pipe yet again. Got myself a silver key. Did a little bit of investigating to try and see if there was a secret, perhaps, in the place where these plates come out of, but it was not to be. And so I left. Back into the T-shaped room there, we can now use the key over here on the silver lock. And we get to some kind of bowls, soups, I guess, or something. Rather than subtly building layers in this dungeon, the music kind of takes a turn as you go through it. I mean, the base of it is still there, but the shift seems a little more drastic than it has in other places. Anyway, over in this corner we have Mr. Arrow, who will show us the location of the boss. This has historically not been very useful to us because typically the boss is going to be wherever the only way we can go is. So I suppose it might be useful to know if you were about to encounter him, but otherwise, I mean, we're just going to keep exploring wherever we can explore, so. Well, I can only hope that this liquid is soup or something tasty. It seems to be a soup, kind of a broth here. We have some vegetables and seaweed floating around in there, maybe leeks, I'm not sure. A little bit of a swimming section here with some coins that we can pick up. Kind of reminded me of Mario 64 for some reason. All things considered, not an especially challenging room. But it's okay to have a freebie now and again, right? I mean, not everything has to be an uphill climb. I'll take it. So we have another waterlogged room here, less soupy, but we do have I recognize those things, I've seen them, but I'm not 100% sure what I'm looking at. Anyway, I was a little bit incautious with my boosting in order to get to the other side of the room and use the silver key. And on the way back, we make a discovery that you can actually use your swim boosting to hit enemies. So now we have little seahorse-looking guys and some cherries, and the camera goes insane on me. In wedging my head up between this platform and the wall, it sort of doesn't know where to leave itself, and I apologize if the flickering affects anybody in the viewing audience. I really did not intend for that to happen. Basically, all I was trying to do is stick my head up here and see what I could see. Which is the return of these creepy head things, as well as some more star blocks. And just a whole lot of dango there, as well as some dessert. Orange slices on there. It looks pretty good, actually. Soy sauce packets. The thing from that room with the red noses, the fishy things that were swimming around, they're Japanese-style soy sauce packets. Yes. And that's what I've seen. Anyway. That brings us to this, the worst room in the dungeon. We've got some conveyor belts here, strategically positioned at the top are these fox masks that breathe fire. We've seen them before, and they were usually pretty easy to get around. But now, between the conveyor belts and their range, and also just the very poor targeting of throwables, this is just going to be a good time. Falling down gets you burnt in the kind of lava down here. We have a locked door on this side of the room. Oh boy. Alright, so basically, I've chopped out quite a portion here as I struggled with this room and fell off multiple times to finally get over to the silver key on one side And before I left, I did manage to go over to the other side and scoop up the golden dango here to replenish my health. But it was a trial. The camera, once again, did me no favors. And as you can see, trying to throw your ice kunai is just a really, really tricky thing. Which it shouldn't be, because those things are major obstacles and they will knock you off. Anyway, the sooner we can put this room in our rear view mirror, the better. Brings us to sort of an open area here with some what appears to be a giant crab sitting in a bowl, as well as a new behavior from these enemies. It's kind of alarming, actually. I'm not down for it. I can deal with the hopping, I can even deal with the cannons and stuff, but don't just start flying after me. That's weird. Stop it. Gold key up there, and there is a platform on the other side of the room with some goodies on it, but I didn't really see an easy way to get up there. I did kind of check it out a little bit, see if there was a ladder or something, but it's probably fine. I'm still in relatively good health. I got a good amount of money. Use the golden key to head into this side room here, which apparently has a hot floor. I guess it's a skillet of some description. And we get the Yai Bazooka. This allows Yai to shoot bullets and stuff. I go through this text way too fast, but basically you can use the bazooka to lock onto enemies and fire multiple bullets at once. And I should stop messing around in here and getting burnt by everything. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, there we go. So let's try it out. Charging it puts a little lock-on reticle on the enemies. Of course, the crabs have crazy range, so not really off to a rollicking first test here. But if we try it again, you can see the flashing reticles. It shoots 3 shots at a time, which is nice. And of course, it costs me money. The bullets seek a little bit, which is excellent. And will hopefully be useful in the battles to come. As a last ditch, I tried to use the camera to see if there were any hidden platforms to get me up there a little more easily. And as always, I don't understand when to use this camera, because nothing happened. Another water room means it's time to turn into mermaid form. When possible, there we go. And it's short-lived as we surface again in the next room. And, you know, there's a second elevator there, and I wonder if that's part of it. Part of the mystery. It looks like it goes to a different place when you can briefly see through the architecture of the level. But it doesn't matter, we never come back to it. Goodbye. So here I'm supposed to use the camera. There's signs. There's always signs, except for that one time that there wasn't. Anyway. Using the camera creates these glowing yellow pathways that can get you around the room. I made the mistake of not using that little corner piece to jump over, and so there was a few falls off of there until I finally got wise and used that bit. Much simpler. Get around all the fried food, the tempura, jumbo shrimp there. We got some hot dogs in the corners of the room, some fries we passed over. They look pretty good, actually. Never doubt the Nintendo 64's incredible capacity to render food at high resolutions. Look at that texture work. Look at it. It's beautiful. I want to reach into the screen and just take it. Anyway, we're trying to be cautious here and not fall off and have to do the whole room over. And then I almost did anyway. Yay! Twice. The room with some rice balls in here. At this point, I'm just sort of throwing weapons around and just seeing what works. And by somehow killing those 2 enemies, I'm awarded a key. I guess I needed to do that. I was just fighting them because I was angry. So here we have a little bit more of a complex situation. There's a locked door back there. We've got a bunch of fire breathers. We have some bowls on tracks that are moving around. The door is a diamond door, and we just got the silver key, so we're going to have to look elsewhere to use that. Again, targeting these things is way more of a pain than it needs to be. I suppose I could have used the charge shot of his kunai of ice, which does throw more than one, but even then, with the gaps, it seems like there's not a guarantee. Or the bazooka. Oh, that would have been smart. You know, in retrospect, that's probably what it's for. Hindsight's always 20/20, I guess. Anyway, these bowls can kind of ferry you around the room here. There's another one that comes in from the side. But I decided to stick with this one for now. And those look like packets of noodles, I guess, that we're landing on. A room full of lovely vases full of money. With some ammo. Maybe buy a thing later on if we need to. Climbed this to see if there was anything good up here, but there's not. Just more vases on the other side. So this brings us back to the T-shaped room with the bowls, and the silver key door happens to be here, so that's handy. Find the hidden route with the wind-up camera. Well, I can do that. As you can see, or as you can hear, rather, the music has taken on another dimension as of a few moments ago. Still a pretty good song. And as expected, we get the diamond key. Time to make our way back. I think I like playing as him because of the little flips he does in the air when he jumps. I just enjoy that. Quick check up on the map to see if I was, I guess there's one room there that it looks like I didn't do at all, actually. Well, we'll never know, because I'm not going back. On the way back to the diamond door, I decided to jump down here and see if this was any quicker, if there was anything cool down here. There was more giant crabs and bowls, which was not especially helpful to me. And the ladder was on the opposite side of the room anyway. Since that one lashed out, he had to suffer. I would have left him alone. I didn't want to do it. It actually takes 3 kunai of cold shots. Kunai of ice, whatever it's called. But eventually we did get back across the room and use the diamond key. Here we find a solitary elevator. Oh boy. They're getting intense now. I'm climbing over this stack of pancakes here. I assume. Some butter on there. Looks pretty good. And a couple more sausages grilling. We're just going to keep falling off the sides of this walkway and hurting ourselves for no good reason at all. What looks to be part of a green pepper and a bit of meat. It's going to be real good when it's done. Ooh. Yes, we've come for the miracle item. Kansai region. In Zazen Town again. Yes, absolutely, I agree. Oh boy. Far, far away, no. A little bit of bickering between the villains. Good times. And a little more meta humor for you. Oh boy. At least they acknowledge that joke was not very good. With a bit of applause, the main villains disappear, and we're told that we're going to have the device used on us. I really do wish I could exit a room that way. An alarm sounds. We're told we have T-minus 30 seconds, and a time bomb is going to kill us all. Stay calm indeed. So we're going to leave this cliffhanger to be resolved in the next episode of Nathan Plays Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. Thank you, as always, for watching, and we'll see you next mission.